Rolling?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? What's up, guys? This is Kyle from Pixel Labs here, and we got Alan here too. So we just got the Ronin-S about like a week and a half ago, or like 2 weeks ago. We've only used it on a few shoots now, but I think we have a pretty good understanding of kind of like the main points and like kind of the main advantages of the Ronin-S compared to the Ronin-M, which is what we used like all throughout the past.
We used it for a shoot just recently, and I mean, I really like it compared to like our big Ronin. Like, it's so much more smaller, obviously way more downsized and all that stuff. And I mean, having the pistol grip is so much easier than having like the too big, like you're so out there.
It's definitely a really good design. When they first started coming out with pistol grip gimbals, they were really exciting to me. The only problem is they didn't handle a lot of weight. So like, I had a Canon 6D at the time, so I wouldn't have been able to use a lot of those pistol grip gimbals because they were fairly new. And that's one of the nice things about this one is it's a single grip pistol grip gimbal, and it also has a huge payload of like 8 pounds. It's like just a little over like 7 pounds, which you can put cinema cameras on there and stuff like that. And that's one of the weaknesses a lot of the previous pistol grip gimbals had. They weren't able to hold as much weight. But having this design is huge because you can see the back of the screen, which the other gimbals, it's really not that big of a deal, but it is nice being able to see like straight through the back of your screen. So
yeah, definitely. It gives you that access point where you can still catch focus and be able to catch exposure much better without having, not being able to see your screen, or like having to take the camera off, get all that settings right, and then put it back on, and having that ability to still be run and gun with it. So
one thing that is kind of a downside to this, which is really not that big of a downside just because gimbals are heavy, but the weight of it is actually, I mean, it's fairly light for as much weight as it can hold, but it's still, after you put a camera and like a bigger lens on it, it will get a little bit, your hands might get fatigued, or your forearms or something.
You still definitely have to use like 2 hands at a time, because you can use the battery grip, and then you can obviously still use the tripod stand that's together. So, I mean, you still have to kind of use both. I mean, if you have like a light, just like a 6500 with like a really small lens on it, I think it'll be fine with like one arming it. But I mean, you still have to use like 2 arms just because like your forearms will start getting like a little bit sore after like a long day of shooting.
Especially even for people that are like as massive as us, it still kind of sucks.
It still kind of sucks. Like, I still kind of feel
we lift like 4 times a day, but I mean, like, still. But no, another downside to the Ronin-S is that to put it away in the case, you actually have to take it apart. So that means you have to actually take all this apart, put it up, basically just kind of like.
Yeah, you have to kind of like fidget
unbalance
everything. Yeah, you have to unbalance everything just so it fits perfectly into that box.
Yeah, so you have to take this slanted arm and put it to where it's a point where it can actually be put into place in the case. So that's kind of annoying. It kind of
ruins the purpose of like the whole run and gun type of thing.
Yeah, the battery life is really nice on it though. So that's one pro that we forgot to mention was the battery life. I think it's rated to last like 12 hours or something. So we shot for about like 4 hours that we had it, and we had it pretty much on the entire time. So, and it only went down like 1 dot or 1 green light, so it still had 3/4 of a battery left.
I also say like probably another con is probably like the actual case. It just kind of like looks really not sturdy for like something that you're buying or paying for. It's like $700-800. So I think maybe like investing in like a different like Pelican case or something that's like made out of, that you can like cut into a foam and like make it for your own like purposes, and that way you can also like keep it already where it's balanced and like take it out to make it more like run and gun. So I'd say that's probably like another con, which isn't like too like big, but it's those little things I think that make like a huge difference.
So I think that anyone looking to get a gimbal and that doesn't have a huge film crew, or that doesn't have like the resources to kind of afford the bigger setups and whatnot, like this is perfect, especially for $700. Like there's not much more you can ask for that. Like that's being able to go in and just pick this thing up from the ground like with this tripod, like set it on the ground, go have your camera on it, go get the shot, set it back down, and maybe switch to another camera, or even just take it off of the gimbal. Like, having that ability is huge. What you're noticing, I guess, is a lot of these people, they don't have a whole film crew to shoot. Like, they don't have someone that's wirelessly pulling focus so they can have this gigantic setup. Like, a lot of these people don't have huge budgets, so they have to have something that they can get in, get the shot, and go home. Like, that's the biggest advantage of this, honestly, is just being able to be that run and gun one-man band and get the shots and have them be super cinematic and just kind of tell the story that you want to tell. So I would highly recommend the Ronin-S to anyone that has $700 that is looking for a stable gimbal that it has a lot of features, especially if you use Canon, and something that you just want to work out of the box and get really cool stuff.
Yeah, if you're trying to get into gimbals and trying to get into that realm of like having more stability over your footage and all that stuff, highly recommend the Ronin-S.